Hey guys, and welcome to PitchIT Live. My name's Adam Belansky. I am founder and CEO of Sierra Pacific Group, and I also serve as ConnectWise Advisory Council member. So at Sierra Pacific Group, we help technology business leaders leverage the entire suite of ConnectWise products, such as Automate RMM, Manage PSA, and Sell CPQ. All that whole new branding, a lot of these really nice acronyms. But at the end of the day, we want you to get the most out of those systems with industry proven strategies, and we implement those quickly and efficiently for your business. We've done thousands of implementations, optimization projects, and custom projects to get you started with ConnectWise. And we've been doing it consulting since 2016, so a few years. So think of us like a Sherpa, right? We help you get to the top of that mountain. We listen intently. We set those ropes. We carry the load, and we guide you every step of the way. We know the best path for you to take to achieve your peak performance, and with our customized plan and hands-on approach. And today I want to bring in my amigo, Sean Lardo. How you doing, man?
Good morning, good afternoon. It's not me, amigo. I thought we were doing the French thing today.
We're not gonna do French. Not going down that path.
You said you were. So in the green room, you said because our guest, whatever. Okay, moving on. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm back in my office. It feels really great being back after 3 weeks of being on the road, doing a little workcation. Really solid Wi-Fi. Hopefully, I'm not frozen.
Doing well.
On my own bed, slept, no allergies. My nose, sinuses completely clear. I don't have to go get some Mexican drugs and a shot in my butt. So we're good.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah. So Sean, why are we here?
Adam, we're here to discuss PitchIT. Last year we reinvented PitchIT. What PitchIT is about is it's a Shark Tank. I still can't stop referencing Thunderdome, but it is a Shark Tank concept for vendors. It's ConnectWise looking for the best of innovation, startup vendors that are coming into the space that are there purely to support the mission of the MSPs. Make it easier to work with us, make it easier to work with them, make it, to invest more, to have more innovations faster. All the promises we put out years ago, that's what this all comes down to, right? But it is really about them having the ability to compete with one another for the grand prize of $70,000 or $30,000 for second place. Again, there is an accelerator program. There's a lot of cool things that occur, but I don't want to talk too much about that because our guests can talk about their experience with it, and I don't want to steal the thunder. Yes.
Awesome. So application window's open. It's literally only 2 more weeks to apply, roughly?
We have to the end of the month.
End of the month. That would be the 30th, I believe.
Yes, the 30th. Yep, April 30th. Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, if you're a technology company and looking to partake in this program, see if you get some of that prize money, really get clear, focused on kind of what you're going to do in the industry, develop that software, develop that business, really taking that idea and make it to fruition, translating ideas into great success. Sounds like a mission of my company.
And yes, it does. And it's free, by the way, to be involved. Not your company. Your company charges. This is free for the competition. But also, I think it's important that people that are watching realize the fact that it's not a one set demographic of companies. It is everything that fills in from whether it's a cybersecurity element or it's a QBR element, or it's in the case where people are talking about project planning and whatnot, right? It is whatever. There's so many different needs and requirements in the space, and these MSPs are looking for stack and alignment and finding the right tools that actually integrate with ConnectWise, especially our users, to integrate with ConnectWise easier. That's what they're looking for. So there's not one set demographic of business that you're solving for.
At the end of the day, if you can make it easier to do business with ConnectWise, if you're, invest in kind of the partner growth and basically develop that software and really bring that innovation faster, those 3 key points I know Jason McGee said a few years ago, it's like if you think you have this idea, you have this product and kind of have starting out, but you really need your, I'll say, butt kicked in gear, right? This is really accelerate the growth of your program or tool or business. That's going to be really, really awesome. So PitchIT is for you. But I want to talk about kind of bring on our guest.
Yes.
Let's bring on Eric Murray of Clearbench. How you doing, man?
Hey, going good. Yeah, and you?
Doing fantastic.
Eric, can you
So-
please tell him how to say my friend again? Because he didn't remember how to say it in French.
It's mon ami.
Mon ami.
Mon ami.
Ami. Ami.
Ami. Ami.
I mean,
He's bilingual. Anyway,
bilingual.
what's up, Eric? Good seeing you, man.
Hey, good seeing you too.
I don't see like the bay behind you with the boats, and I don't see your.
Oh, it's in front of me in my desk. I see it right there.
I'm jealous. So thanks for coming on, man. I'm not gonna, Adam. I'm gonna let you start.
Yeah. So you were a PitchIT contestant last year. You went through the program. Give us a little bit background on Clearbench. What do you do? What does your company do?
Yeah, so first it started, we do have MSP business, which is Kesber, and we're doing business for the last 25 years. And at some point when we went to ConnectWise, we've had some issues on planning our resource, either on what they were working on or project planning itself. And at that time, we were working on an Excel spreadsheet, which was shared with every person needed to look at resource planning. So at some point, we did end up at the limitation of technologies. So we decided at some point what we can do with the data in ConnectWise. So we created Clearbench, which is a resource team planning, which you can plan completely your enterprise on either project, service ticket, opportunities, even vacation, or no matter what. And in one view, you can see who's working on what, from when to when, and how many time. You can forecast your revenue, or you can either forecast what you need for your resource when you need to hire and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's definitely filling a gap in a hole that is, how can I say it appropriately? The ConnectWise project module is lacking. Right? In that particular area.
I don't think you're supposed to say that, Adam. So let me interrupt. No, that is phenomenal because you made it a little bit. You've enhanced what already exists today, which is good. No, I think it's important because I think that's a huge actual conversation. Because how many people I've heard this a lot of times. People don't list the hours of work because they don't even know the project they're doing. Sometimes there's too much administration going on, and when you did your job all day, to spend another 2 hours at the end of the night when you're supposed to be on your free time populating stuff or organizing things is a big struggle.
Yeah.
You're asking a lot.
Yeah. Furthermore, when you got multiple projects at the same time, or you're on a service desk, which you got maybe an installation or an urgent call coming in, so you know what you're supposed to be doing, and if there's something goes wrong, can easily say, "Hey, I got a problem here," so everyone can see it.
I love that. That transparency is a big part of everything. It's a huge part, but it comes before. The reason why there's no transparency is there's no organization. It's not organized enough to actually do it, or even to onboard your own employees to work in it too, or having a place for them to go.
Yeah. So the way we're doing it is to make sure, exactly like you said, make sure that's organized work where I don't want to assign new work to someone, or even an opportunity. I know there's something coming up. I want to make sure that if I'm assigning it to that person, he can do it right now or at that moment, and make sure that also the client satisfaction. You're saying you're going to do that work from that date to that date, but when you look, maybe you're guessing that dates. But when you're looking in Clearbench, you see clearly what's happening. So you got your work organized, and even your customer are getting satisfied because you're starting at the right date, because you know there's a window there to make that work.
Right. Okay. So what made you guys create this in the first place? You said
that's exactly the issue, where we were saying dates to customers where, okay, yeah, we should be able to start the project on that date, but never look at, do we have the resource to do it? Do we have the capacity to do it? Should we be doing it? So that's one of the reasons where we went there, because we were promising work to be done, but we're calling the customer 2 days before saying, oh, finally, we did not check properly our stuff. So we need to push back the project from 1 week from now. Then it's impact everything from down the road.
And all this comes out of the information itself. It's coming from ConnectWise, or is it coming from whatever data source they're using? Like, again, because you have your stuff all scheduled, there's so many moving parts. Let's start with the resources. The resources are, do you have the people and time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So where do you pull that from?
So we're pulling the members from ConnectWise. So most of the data coming from ConnectWise. So we got one source of truth, but at some point we managed to do some stuff going back to manage to make it easier. But yeah, so on the members we're pulling from ConnectWise the project ticket, service ticket, opportunity, different type schedule entry. We're working on pulling in the activities. So mostly, if we can schedule it, it would be able to be scheduled in ConnectWise. And when we do a schedule entry, it goes back to ConnectWise. So if someone is using the ConnectWise calendar, they will see it in their calendar because we're pushing back that schedule to someone.
Okay. And so that's one, and you're pulling that from ConnectWise. What about as far as you mentioned the other part, which was wait, you broke it down resources. What was the other thing you talked about?
We got project
Capacity.
capacity, yeah. So daily capacity is also from ConnectWise. So you when you do your configuration in ConnectWise properly, we pull that data and it's ready to go. So when we do an onboarding, during the time you're doing the onboarding and the training, all your data is being pulled and you're ready to go like in 20 minutes.
That's
okay.
Incredible. Yeah. So, so we understand kind of what you created, how you created it, and came about to it. What, you've been around for just a little bit, but like, why join PitchIT? Like, why jump into that program? I'm just curious of what you're looking for.
Good question. So initially, we were talking with our partner success manager at that time, and we were discussing that we did build out something, but is it something that maybe the community could need? So our CEO went to IT Nation at some time with a iPad and going through where we're going to having lunch and showing to people at this table and saying, do you think that could be good for you? So with the positive feedback, Andrea did reach out to me saying, maybe we think that Clearbench could be a good fit for PitchIT. So when I discussed with Andrea, I saw a way to maybe give a better chance to Clearbench to be known by the community.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the power of the community right there. I mean, just at IT Nation, we have Secure coming up, Sean. We have IT Nation Connect in November, and I think there's a user group in Seattle. I think I'm going to be at. So I'm getting roped into that one. But the power of the community, right? And so, that's it's just amazing the effect. And so you created a need and filled a gap that was like really missing, and just jumped in the program because you sat around a table and they're like, hey, Andrea, kind of helping this program
let's
along.
clarify. Andrea runs our InVent program. She works with all the vendor partners, so she's a wealth of information when it comes to this. She literally she works with every one of you individually at one point or another, so she knows exactly who does what, where, how, and why. And she's also part of our ecosystem in general, so she knows what we're lacking. So that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. And so, you jumped in the program. What were you expecting out of the program initially? What were you thinking?
Initially, it's like an opportunity. It's more than, I wasn't expecting particular stuff, but I was expecting an opportunity either to either talk about Clearbench or know or learn stuff I didn't know. Because at the end, the main business with Kisbury service business. So Clearbench was our first SaaS product model. So I was expecting maybe at some point the opportunity to learn about SaaS product since we were mostly doing services. So it was new for us to do that. Even if Clearbench was live for like a year and a half before PitchIT, but still it was brand new for us. So that's one of the reasons we went with PitchIT.
Nice. Very cool. Okay. And so you went through this accelerator program, 16 weeks. You met a bunch of different coaches and leaders in the space and learned a lot. Kind of tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So you in that path of 16 weeks, you can learn different things from marketing, sales, even the ecosystem itself, the community, how many users, that kind of data also. And you learn about yourself too, in the sense that when the coach come in, they are asking question or they putting out some information. So you're questioning yourself is, am I doing that? Should I do that? And figure out a better way on doing your business. And in fact, the PitchIT experience did help Clearbench, but it helped Casper too at the same time, our MSP side of business, where we were able to put in some thing we learned from that program.
I like that. So that's actually that's a good segue into this. Like, so the program was a little bit more in depth than you thought it was going to be. So you got some good training, you got some good exposure. Byproduct was the MSP side of your business actually had some improvements. What else has anything else developed from your involvement with PitchIT and things you learned and things you experienced?
Yeah, in fact, when we were doing the different podcasts like we're doing right now with Adam and also with Tom and preparing for the pitch itself, we I did learn we did learn about doing presentation at some point. We did learn that because, in fact, for beginning last November, I'm doing public speaking now. So I'm on stage talking about expert stuff, and mainly I think like PitchIT help to build out that person that's able to do speaking in front of people. That's one, and also all the customer experience, which asking question to connect wise people or even through the coaches, we were able to build out the customer journey within Clearbench and Casper, which is said if there's a new customer, after 1 month, they should be at that level, either in the product or in the service. So next step would be what. So we did learn, we did use that learning also.
Awesome. Good.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're talking to the audience of people that maybe haven't applied yet, and so why should going through that 16-week, learning about the program, and getting the most out of it, and it sounds like you took a lot out of it. Why should somebody join that program?
It's not only the 16 weeks or the money itself, it's the after of the program, because I'm able to reach out to the fellow classmate from the last pitch at ball. So I can reach out to Sean hey, Sean, I got that thing. Do you think it could work? Or we can discuss about strategies. But also we're able to have a meeting with Louis, Andrea, to doing strategies on exactly the customer journey. And it's also that classmate or that group still live together, where we talk somehow every now and then and learning from each one to the other. When I'm looking at LinkedIn, where I did all that networking, I see different stuff passing and say, oh, that's interesting for us. So I can reach out to the one I know. And furthermore, it's going back too. So it's not only the 16 weeks, but it's also what's happening after.
Yeah, I will say that you probably leveraged me on a personal level more than anybody else. So yeah, which is great. I mean, I hope you do, which tells me you probably leverage a lot of people that way, which is good. And it was more about your personal, like you took a very, very intimate approach to your own personal development and doing stuff, which is again, personal brand starts before company brand for you. It should for everybody. Now, if you're the founder of the company, obviously you have a different thought process, but the fact is you start with your brand and the company reaps the benefit regardless.
Yeah. So exactly. Because after PitchIT, I did start more when we were doing. I don't remember who exactly the coach was, but we're talking about the LinkedIn. How we should manage LinkedIn and leverage it. And at that point, where I did start doing more personal brand from now on, and then leverage my personal brand with the company brand. And since we got two companies, so I got two company brand where I can reach out. And now I'm doing public speaking. So I use my brand on the public speaking I'm doing to leverage new leads for the business.
Perfect. I love that. I think that's a strong takeaway for people is it, especially young people, right? When I was younger, I didn't realize what I was learning from some people, and I didn't think about how it applies to me day to day and how that helps me to complement the business and how to look. And something else you said was you started watching on LinkedIn. You started looking at different angles, how to position yourself where different places that you may not think of. When we're in the box, we don't see all these other things.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased to hear that actually.
Yeah, and we did build out for our MSP, also gonna apply to Clearbench. We did build out a strategy for content, which based on the podcast we're having right now, and some input from Adam and Tom Lawrence last time, we're building out a strategy where we're gonna do a type podcast like I was discussing with customer or their expert, but also doing technical, more short videos on how to do some stuff, but also more like a 7-8 minutes video where we speak about one topic and can be HR, finance, admin, dev, IT. So we're building out that strategy for getting that content out because we found out in the program also we were talking about how people consume content, and LinkedIn is one, podcast and live stream is other, technical videos. So from that learning, we're managing to build out a new strategy with our marketing team.
Nice. I really like hearing that actually.
For sure. So, what was the kind of your mindset around going in the program? You say, "Hey, I'm going to try to solve this problem." What was the biggest obstacle you kind of overcame in kind of this program last year?
Um, the obstacles was more on what we should do next in Clearbench, in the sense that it was more based on what we were experiencing. So Clearbench, like a year and a half ago, was more for our business. We did have one or two customers trying it, like more a beta program, but the program itself, when I was hearing everyone problems or week after week saying got that type of issue or some stuff like that, was able to point out, oh, there's something there for us where planning can help. And furthermore, when we went to IT Nation, everyone around us was PitchIT contestant. So we were able to discuss two face-to-face for the first time since it was hard to travel. But we were able also to see different people and different perspectives, and we were more able to gather those needs. So that kind of obstacle we were having, and then PitchIT solve it by just meeting on a frequent basis.
Sean, you go ahead.
Oh, I try to give you a minute because I take over the whole call. So I'm trying to be mindful. Okay.
Thank you.
So I can say this much. The things I did notice was from the first time you guys presented through virtual these things, and then or just had conversations, you guys got much more thorough and more precise in your messaging. Also, you became more friendly. Because you walk in, I don't want to say you weren't friendly in the first place, but everybody gets very nervous. Everybody gets very tight, and it's almost robotic like, right? So maybe where it's more human,
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do. I remember my first webinars I ever did, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I think I sat like completely still like this and talked. And I don't even think I even covered anything in a good fashion. And I was so quick to run through things. It just wasn't natural. It wasn't like an organic anything. So I think that, you guys definitely, and then you guys did very well at the conference too.
Yeah, it went pretty well. And what I was saying, never I thought I could be public speaking before experiencing like we are doing right now. So in November was my first on stage presentation with before 150% around, and I'm doing one more in May with, I think there's mostly like 500% attending to that conference. So, and if I go back 2 years ago or even a year ago, I would be freaking out right now, even if it's a month from now. But now it's just before that call was sitting, having fun, waiting for everyone to come in and just discuss. So it's more take abstraction of the people there. They want to be there. They want to listen to you. So just speak freely, friendly, and everything will be good.
It is good until you actually have to rap in front of them, and we will not, not
Yeah,
rap. But
I saw that.
easier. So yeah, we rap.
Or if you have to MC a rap battle, like you do this for a profession. So
I'd rather MC it. In fact, I really want. There's Kyle. That I want his job just to sit on the side of the stage, just look
he
pretty.
hated that. He hated that. That's why I put him there. He was so mad at me.
In wrapping this up, Eric, it's been awesome seeing you grow, seeing the organization grow, and it's definitely filling those gaps in the industry and around this ConnectWise ecosystem and the project and service modules and resource planning. It's huge. But what advice would you give to startups that might be looking to apply?
Figure out your why at some point. Just make sure that when you come in, then we figure out your why, can go in the program and get that takeaway from every session. When you come in where you're not really aware or not fully block on why you're doing that, you will try to gather every information. There is a lot of information. 1 hour meeting every week, different subject, and then you got some work to do, small work, but still. So if you can figure out what you're trying to solve or why you're there, it's going to be more easier to grasp every important information for you in all those training or those coaching sessions.
Awesome. Yeah. Know your why. That's like every CEO's like vision of like, why am I doing this? Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Amazing book. Not pitching that. So, Sean, closing thoughts?
Wow. Closing thoughts. Where do I go from this? No. Whoa, mi amor.
Like both your beards.
From one of a, huh? So anyway, no, I would start with this. First off, if you're a vendor trying to figure out what you're doing, you should apply. If you're looking to make an impact in the ecosystem and find a good fishing hole to establish business, just like Adam Bolensky has done in the ConnectWise community, which he's done very well with it, you should definitely be applying to this. It's free as far as cost. The investment is your time. On the other side, Eric, I'm glad to see you guys have done what you've done, because I know we've had lots of conversations on even up to and including pricing and packaging and whatnot. And it seems like you guys got you got it mostly together, still working on a few things, but which it never ends in business, right? When you run a business, it will never end. So I'm glad to see that. I'm glad you guys are part of our ecosystem. I think you're a great value add. I think that I know that the challenge I see with MSPs is project planning, documenting hours, submitting their hour workloads to get paid. All those. So, let's leave your money on the table when they mess it up, and it's extra work. So I see it really. I like what you guys do. I appreciate it, especially because I like getting paid.
Good point.
But again, you have 2 weeks. You guys all have 2 weeks to apply. A little over 2 weeks. Please do so. The season kicks off second week of May. I'm super stoked. We've made some changes and people that will be involved for judges. We have brand new judges this year. We have not announced yet. We have some different coaches that have come aboard too. People actually from last year, people asked us to be part of this because they're like, this is so amazing. How do we become part of this on all different ends? So I'm super stoked. That's all.
It's awesome. Sean, it's been really, really cool. Eric, the power of the community. I think I just want to point that out. Like, hey, you went to IT Nation Connect, sat around a table, had this product, talked with a few IT MSP businesses, and suddenly you join and pitch it. And I love seeing these type of stories. Love seeing the power of community. Love seeing the problems being solved that you're out there doing it. It's an incredible program. Sean definitely stepped it up last year. The entire team, not just Sean. We're talking everybody on that team, and taking initiative. John, you can name them if you want.
Andrea, Louie, Ashley. That's on one side. On the other side, the people that came in from the ConnectWise side that were actually Cameo coaches, like Peter Gajawa and group. They all provide. There was Arlen Sorensen, Scott Scroggin, they all, I mean, seriously, it was a good collaborative effort. And most importantly, though, you like Eric, you guys, all the vendors, like you said, they were a good group of people.
It was pretty awesome just watching. It's kind of seeing like all the other vendors and competitors like now becoming buddies and friends and collaborate and say, hey, we're trying to do this, and they challenge each other. And it's awesome seeing this stuff mature and come to fruition and really drive that message and really see the maturity of all these businesses being able to deliver those messages. So definitely apply. If you have a software or in any, kind of, I don't know, how do I say it? Cybersecurity or, ecosystem.
Yeah, ecosystem works.
Yeah, ecosystem works. So it connected into ConnectWise or not, if you have an idea for the MSPs, IT companies to, easier to do business with, right? Innovate. It's really, really huge. So with that, yeah, it's been awesome. Pleasure seeing you guys. And we'll be on next week. I think we have, 2 more of these things?
I believe so.
Awesome. So with that, peace out, guys. Later.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric.